History is loud. It celebrates wars. It remembers armies. It records the rise and fall of empires through violence, conquest, and spectacle. Crowns dominate memory. Battles shape timelines. Victors decide what matters. But the forces that truly redirect humanity rarely arrive with noise. They come quietly, without banners, without applause. Sometimes they arrive too early. This is not the story of a king. This is not the story of a war. This is the story of the first steam machine ever created, and a civilization that was not prepared to use it. 1st century A.D. The Roman Empire controls much of the known world. Its roads bind continents together. Its legions enforce order. Its cities stand confident and unchallenged. Technology exists, but only to serve comfort, control, and tradition. Change is not desired. Disruption is dangerous. And in the city of Alexandria, once the greatest center of knowledge on earth, a man works quietly, surrounded by manuscripts, by instruments, by ideas far ahead of their time. His name is Heron of Alexandria, engineer, mathematician, inventor, a man remembered, but never fully understood. Alexandria was not just a city, it was a mindset. The Library of Alexandria represented humanity's hunger for knowledge, scrolls collected from across the world, ideas preserved, theories admired, but knowledge was often stored, not applied. Thinking was celebrated. Doing was secondary, and Heron lived directly inside this contradiction. He designed automatic theaters, water-powered machines, self-operating devices that amazed audiences. But one invention quietly surpassed them all. Small, elegant, almost invisible. The Aeolipile. At first glance, it seems unimpressive. A boiler partially filled with water. A hollow metal sphere mounted freely on an axis. 2 narrow L-shaped nozzles extending from its surface. No pistons, no gears, no obvious power. And yet, fire heats the water below. The temperature rises. Steam forms, pressure builds. The steam flows upward into the hollow sphere. With nowhere else to escape, it rushes outward through the angled nozzles. And then, the sphere begins to rotate, smoothly, continuously, by itself. This moment matters more than history admits. Because for the first time in recorded human history, thermal energy is converted into continuous mechanical motion, not through muscle, not through animals, but through steam. This is reactive propulsion. The same principle that will one day power steam turbines, jet engines, and rockets escaping Earth's gravity. But in Heron's world, this moment passes quietly. No factories rise, no industries change. The sphere spins, and nothing else moves. Why? The answer is not technological. It is cultural. Ancient economies depended on slavery. Human labor was abundant, cheap, expendable. Efficiency was unnecessary. Speed was irrelevant. There was no pressure to replace people with machines, no demand for scalable power. Innovation had no destination. Even worse, the Aeolipile had limitations, low pressure, primitive materials, no way to convert rotation into usable work at scale. It could spin, but it could not yet build a world. And instead of asking how to improve it, society chose where to hide it. Temples. The Aeolipile was used to open massive doors automatically. Fire heats water. Steam builds pressure. Doors swing open. The illusion of divine intervention. The gods have acted. The crowd is amazed, and the machine is forgotten. This is the tragedy. Not that the Aeolipile failed. It worked perfectly. The tragedy is that no one asked the next question. What if this power could lift weight, turn mills, drive tools? The knowledge existed. The intention did not. History repeats this pattern endlessly. Ideas do not change the world. When they are created, they change the world.
When the world is ready.
Heron lived in a civilization that admired intelligence, but feared transformation, a world that collected ideas without committing to them, a world where the future arrived early and waited alone. Centuries passed. Empires collapsed, libraries burned, knowledge fragmented, and the Aeolipile vanished from memory. Until the 18th century. A desperate world, a hungry world. Human labor was no longer enough. Production demanded speed. Growth demanded power. And steam returned, not as a curiosity, not as a trick, but as necessity. James Watt's engines were larger, stronger, purpose-built, but they were not born from nothing. They were refined descendants of a spinning metal sphere designed nearly 2,000 years earlier. History calls this invention. The truth is harsher. It was a rediscovery. Did Heron fail? Number. Failure requires choice. Heron succeeded in seeing the future. What failed was the civilization around him. This is why Aeolipile belongs in Vortex. Because it exposes an uncomfortable truth. Progress is not limited by intelligence. It is limited by readiness. The Aeolipile was spinning, but the world refused to turn, and humanity, holding the power to transform itself, chose familiarity over change. Today, when you turn on a light, when turbines hum, when energy flows invisibly through your life, remember this: the future does not arrive when it is invented. It arrives when it is needed. This is not the story of steam. This is the story of timing, of ideas ahead of their era, of civilizations not yet prepared. And the final question remains: what ideas today are spinning quietly in the background, waiting for a world brave enough to use them? This is Vortex, and history is full of futures that arrived too soon.